Hi, Bonsai here. I will be working on this large Premna microphylla. So, but I need assistance to transfer this to the work table. And you will notice that the branches have been allowed to grow quite long. Okay, this is how to grow, how to grow your branch structures. So the purpose of this sort of sacrifice branches is to build a strong twigs wherein your later on twigs will grow upon. So this is the way I do it. I allow this to grow for some time, then cut, let it grow again, cut. So this is about the time that I need to cut this back. So I'll put this first in the work table and then show you further. Okay. So that's it's still in my garden, and you can see there an extension, soil extension. Okay, now we have transferred this to this work table, so I can give you the 360 now. Okay, so this is how it looks. Okay. So for now, this is the back. This one. Okay, and the front, the difference with the front is that we have a dead here, and I'm planning to remove this totally so that it will become an uru. Okay, so this is at the stage wherein it is still building branch structure. Okay, so but if I have successfully grown these sacrifice branches to thicken these portions here. So now I am going to remove this primary branches and then do some wiring. Okay, so this is the way to train a deciduous tree. You have to gradually thicken this rather than just let it grow, then make it into a bonsai. So this one you have to create branch structures gradually, and it has the technique is that you have to let it grow first long to have a good branch structures at the base. Then you can cut them, wires somehow, and then regrow it again. Okay, then until you will have once you have your branch structure, then it is time to create tender twigs, and by that time, with this type of species, a Premna microphylla, you would be pruning at least once every 2 weeks. So if you will reach that time, and that will be the ramification stage. So for now, that's the 360. Okay, so that's the front. And then slowly 360, then okay, I will be cutting this, removing these sacrifice branches. Okay, the way to cut is, first you give an allowance. Do not cut too short, because you can cut them further anyway. So, for example, like this, do not cut too short here. So maybe just give an allowance here, like that, instead of here. So Anyway, you can cut them anyway. Further. See, like this one. You can do a designer, so maybe just up to here rather than one internode, because that one internode is only when you are doing when you are already in the ramification stage. So for example, this one, okay, but this one I can cut too short because I know that they will be too close. So this one I do not need, it's going upward, so those growing upward, two upward and two downward will be cut very short, only at one internode. Okay. Giving only one node. So like this one, there is no room for these branches but to grow up, so I just cut them very short, only at one internode. Okay, I have finished removing the sacrificial branches, and so this is now its branch structure. So you will notice that the branches that have grown are strong enough and sort of in proportion already with the thick trunk. So, however, that's the front, by the way. However, this still needs to be wired. So, from your point of view, see, some branches are not growing quite well. So, for example, here, you would like this branch to like that, so that you can have that triangular shape. So from the apex, the topmost, and then the lower branches is still okay. So that way. So also, for example, this one, you would like that to be there. So this one like that, going down. This one, and even from here, you also want this to be lower, and also this one definitely. These branches lower, and this one like that. So this is a clip and grow technique. So what you do is we can wire this, the primary branches only. Then it's not necessarily to detail wiring this, because you're still forming your structure. Your main primary structure, primary branches. Then what you do is you let this grow again, and then hopefully you can grow some branches on the primary branch, secondary branches where you need them. Otherwise, another technique to grow branches where you need them is to thread graft or to just graft. So because if you look at this, some areas needs to be filled, like for example this one. But if you look at from the front, I think it looks filled. However, if you're going to bring this to a contest, it can really be seen that some fields are unfilled. So some areas are unfilled. So now what you do is you branch this, and this is the technique for growing for branch structures. So you grow those sacrificial branches. The earlier stage you do, the longer these branches of the sacrificial branches will be. So for example, this branch here, these were grown thick by growing so much branches, so long, very long sacrificial branches. Then you cut them back, then you let it grow again. So for example, during the first growth to create this, I grew about 1.5 meter long sacrificial branches. Then when I cut, the next growth is just about 1 meter long. Then the next cut, the next sacrificial, the third. So this one is the third sacrificial branch. Is I grow just a meter or a little bit less. So the next growth will just be about half a meter. Then you cut. Then you selectively. The next is to detail which branches you would like to create thicker. Is you have to selectively grow the Okay, I've finished wiring. Okay. This branch here, snap a little bit. I've done that many times and that will just repair on itself. So this is now the branch structure. So basically the work here is building branch structure and so trimming and wiring. Okay, so these branches, there's a guy wire here, the rest are rough wiring. So that's my front, and I'm going to give you a 360, and so that you can see how wide the branches are spread out. So for now, I am allowing that width of branch branch spread, but maybe I can change this in the future. But for now, this is it. That's the back portion, which somehow still looks good. Okay. So that's the work for today, for this plant, for this material. As I've said, I was toying on really opening this also to provide an uro. So that there will be an uro there, and somehow correct this reverse taper here. But I like the movement of this tree and I like its size. This is easier to maintain when you delegate watering to your helpers, because the small ones are very difficult to watch. So this size is very good in the garden. But this can also be brought up to a show if needed. If this grows very nice, then I can bring this to the show. Maybe in 2 to 5 years time, 3 to 5 years time, this will have ramified well and you have tender shoots extending from these primary branches, then primary secondary branches.